Neysara, please welcome Neysara with us. Neysara is a dedicated human rights activist and the founder of transgenderindia.com. Neysara has harnesses the power of awareness, knowledge, and technology to empower thousands of transgender people across India. Her platform provides crucial information to help transgender individuals make informed choices and avoid being lured into sexual or label trafficking disguised as cultural tradition. The content on transgenderindia.com is translated into six major Indian languages, breaking through socio-economic and language barriers. In recognition of her impactful work, Neysara was selected as 2018 Global Freedom Exchange Fellow. Neysara also initiated Talk, India's first trans-specific online discussion forum. Talk connects transgender individuals from across the country, allowing them to discuss gender, life, career, and transition, thus fostering a supportive community. We welcome Neysara with us with a warm heart. Thank you so much, Neysara, for joining us.
You.
Yes, so it was amazing to introduce to you all our distinguished guests for today. And yes, as the webinar titles, celebrate humanity with pride, and we are going to tune into the narratives of each one of our guests here. First, I would like to go to Neysara and have a question, sort of understand Neysara, that definitely I never met you in person, but I want to know, and all of us want to know, how it has been your journey, as a trans person, as a trans woman, uh, how it has been evolved, or what has been your journey with, and eventually when you landed up, doing focusing on the medical sector, right, or driving a change for the trans community, right? Can you help us or throw some light on your overall journey, so that this could be a narrative which will impact our audience, which will also help us to bring dialogues in the community. So yes, over to you, Nesra. You can.
Thank you, Rochelle. So, hello everyone. My name is Neysara, and I'm a 41-year-old transgender woman. I am from Bangalore, and when I was growing up, yeah, like all the other transgender people, I knew that I was different very early. But for the very first time that I realized that transition, something like changing from man to woman, that was how it was communicated, was possible when I was 10 years old. This was 1993. And I was a very curious, sciencey, nerdy child, okay? And yeah, and so I used to watch like a lot of nerdy shows on television. And there was one show in the Kannada channel called Prapancha Paryatane which means world tour in a TV channel. And one segment was about a man becoming a woman, and it was presented very grossly for those times. But for me as a child, was yeah, this is it. I want to be that person. And in my brain, it was like, okay, this is one small surgery. I get it done, and I live my life happily ever after. And I also made a huge plan for me in the coming days that okay, I get the surgery, I change my name, change my caste, change my what city, and I go to a different city and I live, find a husband, and I live. ever after, happily ever after, where I didn't know the complexities of being trans and what the society would, what are the legal aspects and all that, and what also the medical aspects, because it's not just one small surgery, right? So then, as I grew up, I learned much more about transition all through internet, because in India we don't have sex ed for cis people, at least on those days. These days, I don't know the situation for sex ed. Um, and being trans or being queer, it was it was a taboo, and as I grew up also, I knew that I cannot express myself because the society was quite violent to such things. So all I knew was I had to earn money, I had to get a stable job and collect money for transition. So I grew up, I got good education, and uh, yeah. And finally, I graduated, got a good job in Bangalore, and collected money for transition. And I was in that phase. Okay, now is the time I can come out and at least to my parents and my friends, and transition and execute my childhood plan of just eloping somewhere, nameless, casteless, and just living a life. So I told some of my friends in Bangalore, I was in queer groups then, and all the people there that time, this was 2006, I guess. So, and at that time, I came out of my queer friends, but no one had known trans people being educated then. All they knew, especially in Bangalore queer networks, it was like, okay, trans people exist, but they exist on the streets. So why would you want to go to streets? But I said, okay, I cannot do anything about. And they were like, if you want sex, just those days there was before Planet Romeo, there was something called a G for M. I think Parmesh should know. So there's enough sex, you can have sex, but if there is, yeah, what is that you need being trans? So it was very difficult for me to explain. And I said, so do you know that maternal instinct, those women feel sometimes that I want to have a child, I want to have a child. This is a very strong maternal instinct, right? For me, it was, I want to be a woman. That was the kind of what do you say, the force it was coming out from, that how women feel the maternal instinct. I was feeling this, yes, I am a woman, I want to express. So then I moved back to Mangalore and I told my family, and that's, my father was quite okay because Mangalore is very matriarchal, at least on those days. We are a matriarchy, at least in Dalit Bahujan societies, we are a matriarchy. And I don't know about the other, I mean, I know about the other parts of the society, which is not a matriarchy, but for us, it was a matriarchy. So my father was quite okay. I didn't have a mother back then. I mean, my mother had passed away. So then, but my other family members were quite pissed, and they took me to all the babas and corrective therapy, and they wanted, for them it was a shame, and they were also violent, physical, house arrested, and trigger warning. They also wanted to, at a point I felt that they're going to kill me. There were threats, there were all about honor, and it felt more in the direction this is going towards honor killing. And they were also, tomorrow, if you don't do this, then we're going to delete the shame. And one day I gathered the courage and decided that I'm going to elope. I eloped. I went to the train station, called my best friend who's gay, and then he came, and we didn't know what to do, where to go. So then I wanted to stay in the same city. I didn't want to go to Bangalore, because I consulted doctors in Bangalore. So my family was looking for me and I didn't know where to go. So I just asked my friend, just get your mother's burqa, let me just hide myself. So he got his mother's burqa. I spent 2 days in the train station, and then finally we found a house and I lived there for next 2 years under the burqa, transitioning. So every time I would get out of the house, I would be in a burqa, and so that no one sees me. And I transitioned for 2 years, 2.5 years in one room, just not getting out, because I was very fearful for my life. Uh, and then what happened during these 2 years is I used to go to doctors, get my, I had collected some money, get my surgeries. And those days, there were no doctors willing to give HRT, at least in Mangalore. I would go to a doctor, they would just show me the door, even the so-called trans-friendly doctors now, I know them then, and they would just show me the door. And so only people who would entertain me was surgeons. So only option for me to transition was surgically, not through hormones. So I knew I have to get breast implants, go through a lot of FFS to transition. That was it. And I also went through a sort of a plastic surgery addiction, because I used to come back home, get good, come back home, wait for it to heal. And only person who would see my face would be my gay best friend and no one else. And he would say, "Oh, yeah, like a man." Mm. I didn't have that social validation from outside. So I would just stare at mirror for hours, wait for the day to get to be a night and just pass days. And then after 3 months, I would go for another plastic surgery because that's what the doctor told me. You need at least 3 months between anesthesia or else you'll have some brain damage. So I used to wait every 3 months. I used to go for some FFS to get myself into be a woman. And that was a very difficult phase for me because I did not know I was plastic surgery addicted. All I knew was, okay. And for me, also, those days, it felt like I didn't know that there was no queer emancipation or anything of this extent those days. So I thought I was crazy, and my entire family thought I was crazy. And yeah, I'm doing a crazy thing, so let me do it. So yeah, so after that I transitioned and then was so traumatized by the experience of transition, I just went into steps. There was enough, and but still I had created this fake Facebook account, and because 2009 around Facebook came and created this Facebook account, and people started reaching out to me about transition. So we had this small, before WhatsApp, we had these email groups and SMS and conference calls with each other so that we can talk to multiple people. Though in stealth, we wanted to connect and ask tips from each other, which doctor, how to get it. Because those days there were no clear-cut legal routes also to get your gender marker change. You had to do fraud and all that. My identity was changed through fraud. So either you could go to court, spend a lot of money, waste a lot of time, or you could just go to a cyber cafe, print something and do something. So there was those things. So sharing those tips and tricks. And then around 2011 or something, WhatsApp came. So then we made a WhatsApp group for trans people, and we would share tips with each other. But what happened is anytime a new member came, we had to again same questions, same answers, and it was a bit tiring for everyone. So we wanted something reproducible. So only thing that is more reproducible was online discussion forum. So we wanted to start talk, where online discussion forum where people can search and reusability of that knowledge is there. So we started talk. Along with that, we started writing a few articles, like yeah, the articles we have in talk. Slowly in the meantime, I had also succeeded in changing my name, changing my caste. Yeah, I mean, at least my last name and all that. And I was living a okay life. I had also started a small business for myself, and because it was impossible to get a job because I did not have any IDs to begin with. I was just one person I had created on this land called India, just like another cow or a dog. And I was just living there, and government had or the institutions had no account I was not being accounted for anything, like most trans people, even right now. Um, so then what we currently do, so then we progressed, and yeah, I also got married in the meantime, and yeah, I think I'm very lucky and I'm very happy. Yeah, all of that I have done. I don't think it was, yeah, a part of it is me, but a huge part of it is luck, because when you're in a jungle, anything can kill you. And that's what trans people are in right now. And even a small misstep here and there can derail it. And that is scary. So in 2000, yeah, last year, I think 2 years ago, we started making videos for trans people because one of the reason was we wanted to break those socioeconomic barriers of reading and on in English, and also understanding complex text. So we wanted to break those socioeconomic barriers. We cannot break all of them, but at least we can make an effort to break some of those barriers. So we speak in Hindi, though my Hindi is pretty bad. I try to speak in Hindi. I'm a South Indian. Um, so we make videos about transition, and all we want is trans people to make informed choices. I've been a victim of plastic surgery addiction, and right now we live in a society where doctors have smelled the money with trans people. They've tasted the blood. So they want to offer all kinds of surgeries, all kinds of treatments, surgeries like a shopping list. You can just, I want this, this, and this. So that's something we want patients to, trans people to consciously choose and also be aware of the consequences, because these are life changing, and also things that you do to your body, and you get your body only once. And you have to be very conscious. And also in social media, I counsel a lot of people. Every month, I have around a batch of 20 people I talk to. Uh, and last month, one thing I would say is, like, last month, I don't want to point anyone, a very famous social media influencer went through FFS. And I make sure the people whom I talk to, every one of us has low self-esteem. We are some of the women who are so body dysmorphic, that we would do anything to get our families or our society accept us. And yeah, so I help people to, just be patient and, wait for the results of HRT. Everyone transitions, everyone's body changes. These are very powerful molecules. They do magic. And only thing is, and women come in all shapes and sizes. There is no one form of woman. So that's what I do. But last month, I would say, I got three of my patients went through some form of plastic surgery. Patients, clients went through some form of plastic surgery, which is quite bad, sad for me to say, and for face. And yeah, it's also, yeah, it's a society we live in. So it's very important that we make our community aware that these are not just surgeries. These have consequences. And yeah, so I think I took more time than I would allotted. I'm so sorry.
That's definitely what we wanted, Nesra, but amazing. Yes, Parmesh wants to go second also. Thanks. ठीक है. Cool. So yes, Nessa, thank you so much for sharing us and letting us know कि these are the experiences that a trans person goes through. I mean, that's something uh, which is very important to vocalize and tell it out, because that is actually impacting someone else and making them aware that these are the struggles of transitioning, or there are so many factors that affect us, which are very normalized, and which doesn't seem a big deal, or which doesn't actually bother someone, especially how in the society, or how we have to, when you said, who the face feminization process, also in order to match up to the cis women folks, we have that notion that we have to match according to a cis woman. A woman has to be like this, a woman has to sound like this, or we have those notions which are again completely developed since ages and since decades. But yes, this was something very important for all of us to understand, and how you are applying, how you are also now motivating others and helping others to get into the line and accept themselves, embrace themselves. And I think that's how we make the world a better place, when we are helping others to embrace themselves. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and your journey, Nesra, and more power to you. And we are always happy to have you with us anytime. So yes.